Hey y'all, little drummer boy here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great Christmas. And today I'm going to do a book review of Michael Phelps' book with Alan Abrahamson, No Limits, The Will to Succeed. This is a great book. I'm a lap swimmer and I've never swam competitively, but I, um, I'm a big fan of Michael Phelps. I've seen him swim in the Charlotte Ultra Swim. I believe it was in 2008. The same year he went to the Olympics. One of the years he went to the Olympics, and he walked right past me, and I got to see him do the 100 butterfly. And believe it or not, he got out touched. He got beat to the wall by a Chinese guy. I can't remember his name. Probably couldn't pronounce it if I could. But anyway, this book's really good. What I found most interesting about it was his personal life and also his training regime. Like, my goal is to swim around 100 miles a year. This year I shortened it to 80 because the YMCA was closed 2 months due to the China. And so, okay, I was swim like 100 miles a year, sometimes 120. I've got almost 80 this year. Well, in his Olympic training, he would swim 8 or 9 miles for a warm up before he swam for the gold. And he's the only Olympian to have 8 golds and 8 gold medals. And that just blows my mind that he would swim like 8 miles for a warm up. I've never swam more than 2 miles in a day, and he would do that just to warm up to get ready for the race. Um, but a lot of this book is numbers crunching, and unless you're a competitive swimmer, the numbers wouldn't mean a lot to you. There's a lot of numbers in here. And that makes it, if you don't like math like I do, that makes some parts of it a little dry and like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of, the book is kind of very statistical, more statistical than I would have liked probably. But I mean, he was just, he was recording, he was telling us what numbers he had with his swims, and he's got it all down. He's got it all historically logged. And he talks a lot about his coach, Bob, who's been his coach since he was a little boy, and his mom, who was a teacher, and his sisters, who also swam, but one of them, she probably could have been an Olympian, but she got a back injury. But they were all like his biggest fans, of course, his mom and his sisters. His dad, sadly, he's estranged from his dad. His dad's a retired Maryland state trooper, and his dad might be a state trooper, but he kind of got a fail as a dad. He just wasn't there for Michael, which is sad. And but yeah, one thing I don't like is how this book is a lot about self will, and if you dream it, you can achieve it. And no, not everybody can be Michael Phelps. I mean, I can never win 8 gold medals. And of course, I haven't trained like that. I certainly had 8 the amount of calories he does. If I did, I wouldn't fit through the door. Because, I mean, swimming an hour a day wears me out. But anyway, of course, I'm 50 now. But anyway, not everybody is built like Michael Phelps. Like, he has a really long torso, and he said, and his wingspan is wider than his height. So he was like, God built him to be a swimmer. He was like a custom built swimmer. So not everybody can be Michael Phelps. It's an encouraging power of positive thinking book, but not everybody's going to be Michael Phelps. You can't do everything you dream of. You can basically do what God allows you to do. Of course, you want to try your best and do whatever you can, but you can't just do pie in the sky. We all have limitations, even Michael Phelps. I mean, he can't swim 20 miles an hour. Nobody ever has, nobody ever will. He was swimming like maybe 3 or 4 miles an hour tops. And let me tell you, that doesn't sound like much, but that is flying when you're in the water. I average around a mile an hour with fins on. So him swimming like 4 miles an hour, 3, 4 miles an hour walking speed in the water, that is flying. You got to consider a ski boat goes 35 miles an hour, and he's swimming like 3, 4 miles an hour. I think 4. But I mean, here's the limitations. Michael Phelps never swam 10 miles an hour, and he's never going to. So I don't like that part about the book. It's like, if you dream it, you can achieve it, the will to succeed. And I don't see a lot about God in the book. I don't know about his relationship with Christ or anything, or if he has one. He didn't really mention it a lot in the book. I'm not judging him. I don't know, but I just know he worked really hard, and the book is based kind of like on personal dedication um, and working really hard to achieve what you want. And there's a lot of merit in that. There's nothing wrong with that, but um, self-made individuals. Well, I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway, and I'm not saying he's a powerful person. He's done a lot of good. He helps with charities and stuff. And he started an initiative to get kids interested in swimming, like inner city kids and stuff. So Michael Phelps done a lot of good, and he seems like a pretty humble person considering all he's accomplished. But this book is really more about self-will than about giving credit to God. Whereas, I mean, no doubt he worked hard and he sacrificed his whole life to be 8-time Olympian Michael Phelps. But if God hadn't given him the natural abilities and the natural build to do that, and just like be the perfect swimmer, he wouldn't have been able to do it. So, I mean, I could try to work out that hard. I'd never be able to swim the miles he did. He would swim miles in the morning, eat, take a nap because he said he had to, and then swim more miles in the afternoon. That was his training regime every day. And he didn't even take a Sabbath rest. He swam 7 days a week. I mean, I love swimming, but I don't know how his skin didn't just, dry off. I mean, I love swimming, but I don't think I could stand being in the pool that much. And in the chlorine. It's a wonder he doesn't have like skin cancer or something. Um, but he trained really hard, ridiculously hard. But there again, if God hadn't gave him the natural ability to be Michael Phelps, he wouldn't be Michael Phelps. I mean, most of us can't do what Michael Phelps did. Let me tell you, most people can't swim a quarter mile without stopping. I had a girlfriend and a friend that were way lighter than me, and I'm not bragging, but they're not lap swimmers. And after 2 laps, they had to stop and rest. 2 laps, which is 2 laps in the Olympic pool, which would be 200 yards. I mean, 200 meters, I'm sorry. 200 meters, 800 is a half mile, 1600 is a mile. And yeah, by looking at them, you would think they were in better shape than me. But I could swim a mile nonstop, and they couldn't swim but 200 meters. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you how hard swimming is. When I started swimming laps back in 1992, I could only swim a quarter mile without stopping. So anyway, let's get into some pictures. I want to show you some pictures here in the book. The book's a really good read, but unless you're really a sports enthusiast and unless you're like a competitive swimmer, you probably wouldn't really like this book. And I hate to say it, but it's not. I don't mean to be sexist, but it's not a chick book unless you are like a female swimmer, lap swimmer. Here is Michael Phelps at a birthday party when he was a little boy. Here he is on his first day of kindergarten, getting on the bus. Here he is with his sisters Hillary and Whitney. They're older than him. See, he says back problems kept Whitney left from achieving Olympic goals, adding incentive for teenage Michael to carry forward the family dream. And man, that dude is tall too, because he walked right past me, and I was surprised at how tall he was. Michael at 15, he was born in 1985. He's 35 now and retired, of course. Michael at 15, so this would have been 2000. Before the 200 fly to 2000 U.S. trials, the meet that would send him to his first Summer Olympics. And here he is at the 2001 World Championships when he was 16, and he got gold in the 200 fly. And he's beside Tom Malchow, Olympic champion the year before in Sydney. He got silver. That's a cool picture. And here he says, it says Michael taking off the Pan Pacific Championships in 2006 in the 200 backstroke, an event he hasn't tried to race at the Olympics yet. And when it says yet, this book was copyrighted in 2008. So it was copyrighted around his last Olympics. Michael not only wins the 200 fly in Texas in 2001, but it gives the time, makes swim history as youngest world record holder, 15 years and 9 months. Here he is with Mark Spitz, who won 7 gold medals swimming at the 1972 Olympic Games in Munich. Here he is with the gold medal at the Athens Olympics in 2004. He is in a cornflakes box, and he's open about his mistakes. So he didn't really talk about where he got the picture of the pots where he was smoking pot, but he talks about his DWI in here, and Lord knows I'm in recovery for alcohol myself, and I've got no stones to throw at him. But when the picture came out with him smoking pot, it cost him like millions of dollars in endorsements, which is really hypocritical because let's face it, most people under 80 have smoked pot nowadays. From the hippie generation on down, have at least tried it. But here he's on the cornflakes box, and it said, what could be more All-American after the 2000 Olympics? Michael appears on special boxes of cornflakes and frosted flakes. And there they are diving into the pool, and he is the 5th from the bottom. And that's at the 2007 Worlds in Melbourne, Australia. And this is a cool picture of him doing the butterfly. One of my favorite strokes, but there is nothing that will take the wind out of you more. There's no more strenuous stroke than a butterfly. It's a fun stroke, but it's an exhausting stroke. I wish I could swim a whole mile butterfly. Man, I would be as ripped as he is probably. Because a 100-meter butterfly leaves me breathless. Seeing clearly in the prelims of the 100 fly in Beijing, in goggles borrowed from teammate Ricky Burns after a nearly disastrous goggles malfunction the day before the 200 fly final. I can relate to that because my goggles always, at least one of them, always seems to fill up with water. And here he is with this coach, Bob Bowman, and the University of Michigan Wolverine swim team. And that's where he went to college, and that's where he swam in college, University of Michigan, although he's from Baltimore. And Michael tuning in before the 200 individual medley final in Beijing, his 6th gold. His 2008 Games iPod favorites, Little Wayne, who raps through his nose, and Young Jeezy. Now, it's a millennial thing, but Michael has terrible taste in music, let's face it. But hey, listen to rap, got him 8 gold medals, so I can't knock it too bad. Um, but even my generation, the rap, the hip hop was so much better than this crap now. I mean, back then it was like fluid and melodious. You know, it actually sounded halfway decent. Now it's just like check a check a check check a check a check check a check a check check a check a check. It's just annoying crap. Not even music. And the only area in my life where I'm liberal was when it comes to music. But I mean, most rap is crap these days. The beauty and grace of swimming at the highest levels revealed underwater. Michael Center with the in the hearts of the 200 fly at the water cube in Beijing. And here he is setting a gold record in the medley at the 2008 Olympics. Here he is victorious after the 100 butterfly in Beijing for his 7th gold. And here he is with Garrett Weber Gale after they and with Jason Lezak anchoring, they defeated the French in the 400 freestyle relay. And sorry about the shadows and stuff. Here's his mom and his sister. And here he is with his teammates huddled up after the stirring 400 free relay victory in Beijing. Michael, enveloped by clamoring photographers, finds his mother and sisters after the final race and medley relay at the 2008 Beijing Games. Here he is with teammate Brendan Hansen and Jason Lezak after the 2008 medley. Here's the water cube before competition. Here he is on the cover of Sports Illustrated with his 8 gold medals. Here he is with his mom, Debbie, and his sisters, Whitney and Hillary. And here he is on a Segway at Disney's Epcot Center on like vacation, because he didn't get to do many vacations. And even when he was traveling for the games, he was always like, he didn't have time to do any sightseeing. See, there was no time during the 2008 games to tour the Forbidden City or other Beijing landmarks. That came a year before with the likes of Katie Hoff, another Baltimore swim star. I saw her swim also. And I saw his teammate Ryan Lochte swim at that same ultra swim in Charlotte where I saw Michael Phelps swim. Here he is signing autographs in Times Square. Here he is. Here he is running out onto the field at a Baltimore Ravens game, his home team that he pulls for. And at Baltimore, they had a Phelpstival, like festival, but Phelpstival, which they called in celebration in Maryland after the 2004 Athens Games. And officials naming the street next to Towson High School Michael Phelps Way. And here he is teaching kids aquatics. But yeah, Michael Phelps, The Will to Exceed. I mean, No Limits, The Will to Exceed. It's a good read. If you're into sports, if you're into swimming, competitive swimming, you will like this book. If not, you will probably not like it, although it's a good motivational book. But anyway, I give it a 4. I give it a 4 out of 5. Anyway, Little Drummer Boy here. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed this book review, and I will talk to you next time.